cloud classroom instructional video. This is Josh Gallagan from the IT Media Lab here at the Delaware Career Center, and I just want to thank you for joining today. Taking a look at Dipity, I'd like to show you a little bit about what we're going to talk about today. First and foremost, we're going to talk about what it is, why you would use it, how a teacher can use it, and I'm going to demonstrate its use. And then you guys will have an opportunity to create your actual personal timelines on Dipity. Dipity simply is just a free cloud web timeline creator, and I'll get into a little more detail about what that means and why you might want to use that as part of your cloud classroom curriculum. Easy for me to say. A couple things just to take note of. The profile. When you create a profile for Dipity, it is free, but there are limitations to that free. And you go to it's actually a website, so this is an online software, and it's Dipity.com, and it's limited to 3 free timelines. So when you would go to Dipity.com to get started, okay, I'm already logged in here today, but you would actually click sign up. This would not say log out, it would say sign up, and you could click sign up right here. And then if you really like this and you wanted to upgrade to a better version of it where you'd have unlimited timelines, you could click the upgrade button right here, and that would allow you to go ahead and upgrade to unlimited timelines and give you a whole bunch of features that you do not have simply by just using the free version. Okay, so what is Dipity and why would we want to use this? So if I scroll down here on the main page, I've got a couple things just explaining this. Okay, Dipity is a free digital timeline website. So if you look at this timeline up here, this is an example of a Dipity, and it just creates from 2 points of time that you define when you create the timeline, when you want it to start, and when you want it to end. And I've got this little scroller over here that lets me scroll it down to a very small frame, and then I can take it all the way out and look at a lot of detail and really kind of get in there and take a look at stuff. Okay, so I have a lot of options in regards to some of those things. Pretty slick little piece of software, especially for a web-based software that's free. If you click here on Flipbook, this is kind of a neat part of Dipity. This is a different way to view it. So you can look at it in the timeline, which I just was looking at before, or you can look at it in this Flipbook mode, where it looks like this person doesn't have images up, but they have some detail over top of each of these different items on their timelines or events on their timelines. And I think I saw one here. Here's a picture, and if you roll over it, then the detail comes up. So it's important that you throw some images into your timeline so if someone looks at it in the flipbook mode that they're going to see some content actually there. It's also available in the list mode, and the list mode is just simply what it says. It's just a list of those items listed out this way. Okay, kind of boring to be honest with you. If you're using this cloud program that has these graphical features, why not go ahead and just use that? This is cool too. If you have a timeline where the place is very important for your timeline, it is integrated with Google Maps, and so all these things will pop up here in Google Maps, and it's pretty cool. You can click on the different places in the world that are associated with that timeline. Okay, so that's kind of how it looks and presents itself. In just kind of a basic way. In a minute, I'm going to show you how to create your own timeline and to use this pretty cool software. Okay, so again, let's look at right down here. They say, what is Dipity? Dipity is a free digital timeline website. The mission of Dipity, similar to some of the people that created the internet, was to organize the web's content by date and time. And so they wanted to create, this is kind of a new way of viewing the internet. Time will tell how it catches on and how important it will be. But users can create, share, embed, and collaborate on interactive, visually engaging timelines that integrate video, audio, images, text, links, social media, locations, and timestamps. And I'll show you all those methods in a second. Who's Dipity for? Well, it's for anyone who uses the internet. And it goes through a list of names here, and if you scroll right down to here, teachers and students, okay, which is why we're here today. Nonprofits as well, and even bloggers. They can all create these timelines. Well, why would you want to use Dipity? Well, it allows users to create free timelines online. The timelines are a great way to increase traffic if you have a website or a blog, but really just to increase user engagement. and especially in the classroom. This is just a new way to look at things, and I'll show you an example of a project I might use this for. Dipity is the fastest and easiest way to bring history to life with stunning multimedia timelines. It's fairly new, and they're working out some of the kinks and the bugs and those type of things. But for a free software, it's pretty slick. Okay, there are some links that line the bottom here too. If you had other questions, contact and privacy policy, terms of service, all that kind of stuff. There's a blog right here as well. Okay, and this kind of explains if you buy premium, what you get extra for the premium. Here are some trending topics, so very popular topics that a lot of people are looking at today. Okay, and what I'm going to do is click up here though first on Hot Topics, and this is a place where you can actually search different topics that have been created. Okay, you can see some popular ones right here. Here's one with 26,000 views. It's the history of the Super Bowl. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just type in here because I teach web design and the internet and mess with the internet and social media. I'm going to type the word social media history. I'm going to see what I get. Okay, so I get a few different links that are popping up. Here's history of instructional media, YouTube, social media and me. I might want that. It's got 1,700 views, and I'm just going to kind of keep looking for a second. Here we go. This one looks really cool. The history of social media. So I'm going to go and click this. And this is somebody that made this on November 4th, named Cali Kid 32, and they explain what it's all about and how it's created and those type of things, or why it's created. So if we look here at this timeline, zoom out just a hair. Okay, actually we can move over. Okay, now I'll zoom in just a little bit. Oops, a little too much there. Try it one more time. Okay, but you can see these are the different events that this person has chosen to put in their timeline. Okay, so it's interesting that they've went ahead and selected all these different things. There's images, there are possibly videos and other things that are in these slides. Okay, and again you have the different ways to look at it: flipbook or even list. Okay. All right, so I'm going to back out of here. But again, that's under Hot Topics, and in Hot Topics you can pick anything that you would want to just about that someone has actually posted a video on here for you to use. All right, so again, that's under Hot Topics, and you can search topics right over here. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look now. We've looked at the Hot Topics. Just talk real quick. Why would a teacher? How can a teacher use this? Well, first of all, senior projects, here at the Delaware Career Center, those are very important. And so, you could actually technically present your senior project with one of these timelines. And you could import all the documents you need using that. You could do a student research project for just your class. And an example of that would be in IT, that we might do the history of the web or the history of internet, or the history of social media. And we just talked about using Hot Topics to take a look at what some of those are. Okay, let's go ahead and look at creating a timeline, and we'll add an event and add some content to that event, and then we'll edit it. Okay, so let's go ahead and go up to Dipity Timelines. Now again, I'm on the free version, so I only have access to 3 free timelines. So I'd have to, if I made more than 3, I'd have to subscribe to premium, or I'd want to delete one of my previous timelines. So I'm going to go up here to Create Timeline. And right here, it's going to ask for my topic name. And so let's go ahead and do the history, or actually we'll say senior project timeline, something like this. Description, you can put whatever you like in here. History, I'm sorry, I keep saying history. Senior project timeline for the DOCC. And then what type of category it makes you choose one of these. So I'm just going to say mine is education, which I believe is down here, or maybe under other. There it is, under other. And my time zone I'm going to select because that's important because of the map that it pulls up, and also how accurate your time to be. Your time when people are looking at the different events, you want that, obviously, that time zone to be updated and accurate. You can actually put a thumbnail right here. So if you just want nothing to show up, that's what will show up right there. But I could paste an image from the web. Okay, so let me go. I actually have an image of myself out here, so I'm going to go Josh Gallagan, hit enter. I'm going to click on this image of me standing on a stage talking, and I'm going to say copy image location. Come back over here to Dipity, and I'm going to paste this in here. Hopefully it doesn't give me any hassle with that. I'm going to click OK. And there it is. There's my image. So there's a picture of me talking. And over here's permissions now. Private, or we want anyone to be able to see it. And if we want anyone to be able to see it, can they view, can they contribute, and can they edit it? So right now I'm just going to say I only want them to view. People you follow can view, contribute, and edit. And again, people you follow, I don't know if I can click right now to show you this, but it's kind of like on Twitter. You follow certain people on Twitter. I'm not going to click this because it's going to take me out of this real quick, but if you clicked following, this would be people that you're following or timelines you're following or the folks that are following you. Okay, and then the following people, and you can actually just select, by username and email address, can share this with you. And let's say you want your whole class to do this. You would obviously give them editing privileges or contribution privileges, and then put their email addresses in there. And then at some point you could turn this off and lock that so that no one else can edit and contribute once the class will be done. So I'm going to go ahead now, and I'm going to click continue to add events. And that will complete we've actually created a timeline. Now we're going to add content to this timeline. Okay, and so sometimes there we go. All right, so right here we've got existing events, and what these are the different sources that you can enter in here. So it says build your timeline by adding individual events or connecting sources from around the web. Okay, and so if I click through that, I'm going to look at add event, and this is just a simple event that I can add by putting, and let's go ahead and do that real quick. Let's put a title in here and say at the very beginning of the senior project we determine our topic. So I'm going to put determine topic, and then let's just go ahead and make a date up of, typically for me that's around September, so we'll just put September 3rd, and you can put it in the description here where it says select your topic, and then I could upload a picture or I could paste an image. And since I showed you pasting an image, I'm going to go ahead and just upload an image now. And I'm going to go to my pictures, and this will be absolutely nothing that has to do with what we're doing here, but I'm going to go ahead and just upload this picture. I believe I think it's a football player. It's very likely. And while that works, there's a picture up there of determining the topic. Okay, I can also now add a link in here. So if I wanted to say that I wanted to add a link to my website, okay, which is my class website, I'm going to go here and just copy this URL. And you can do that real quickly, shortcut-wise, by hitting Control-C on a Windows machine or Command-C on a Mac. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this link in here, and that's in there, so that's good to go. Now, if I have a location, I could say this was in Delaware, Ohio. And now if I had a video, I could add that in here as well. Let's say, I went to YouTube, which I think I might be able to show you down here, so I'm going to hold off on the video. So I'm going to click Add Event, and that'll take a second to work its magic. Okay, it's going to take more than a second. Okay, so there we go. So I have determined topic is now on my timeline. Okay, at some point I'm going to click continue to my timeline to see what I have. Let me go ahead and just show you these different sources that you can add, and I definitely want to show a video to you as well before we move over to the timeline. Okay, right here if I click search, I can search Twitter, Flickr, YouTube, and Google News. And I can populate my timeline with posts matching the search term of my choice. Okay. I also have here photos. Now, what's unique about this is you have to have a Flickr or a Picasa account to add photos in this section. However, from what you saw a second ago, under existing events, or I'm sorry, under add event, you can add a picture from anywhere right here. Okay, so that's a little redundant, maybe something that they need to work out as far as the usability of this website, but that's what you can do. Video. Okay, and fortunately it was there. YouTube is an option. Okay, so if I were to click YouTube, it wants to import my videos from YouTube. So you do have to have a YouTube channel. Okay, so I have a YouTube channel called Coach Gal Football, and I'm going to click Import from YouTube, and it gave me basically a post. So in here on my sources, there's a post of videos from my YouTube channel, which I'll show you how to add here in a moment, but that is accessible to me. I can also I have a WordPress account for my class, so I believe it is, let me double check this real quick. So it's WordPress, there it is, jgallagan. Actually, I'm going to do the DACC Cloud, this class website. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this URL, come over here to my timeline events. I'm going to paste the URL here, and I'm going to say import from WordPress. And again, this will take a second to populate. Error adding source. Let me try to get rid of the, oh, I know what it is, this S. I think that S has to go away. Let's see if this works now. I'll give it one more shot here. And then if not, you guys can just take my word for it that it works most of the time. There we go. Okay, so I now have a feed to my WordPress. So that actually is available to me now to places I can add to my timeline. Okay. I also have music from these two sources, which I do not have accounts with either of these. Messaging, I do have a Twitter account, so I could make my Twitter account available to my timeline. Other timelines, or I could copy a timeline. And I believe you have to have the premium package in order to copy a timeline. And then other, if you're into the RSS feeds, here are some other RSS feeds that you can add to it. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. Okay, and here are advanced settings for the senior project timeline. You know, how do I want the zoom to set up? How much of the timeline do I want it to set up? I'm going to go ahead and say let's just do let's do 6 months, and center on date will be automatic. Right now, I'm not going to put any tags in, but those would be if people were searching for on the internet for something, they could find your timeline that way. And then there are a couple themes down here. I'm going to go ahead and just select this classic theme, and I'm going to go ahead and save and view timeline right here. And by the way, there's an allowing comments section as well, which I did not uncheck those. Okay, so I'm going to have my timeline pop up. And remember, I only have one event that I added so far, but we can add another event in a second. Okay, here's what happened. On my timeline, I now have the picture that I added. This was the topic that we added, or the event that we added. Okay. Then remember, I did a couple things. I imported my feed from my WordPress account. So what that did was any date that I created a post on my WordPress account between our timeline that we set at the very beginning will automatically populate in here. So that did that for me. So here's all the cloud sessions that we've done. And then here is my YouTube channel. This is the only post on my YouTube channel between the time of, when we created this timeline, the 3-month period that we set as far as when we created the timeline. So this is how that looks. Okay, and so you can zoom in, you can zoom out, and give yourself access to some more of the data that you've created. Okay, so looks like I had a few other posts back here that also populated. All right, so remember though, if I look at this as a flip book, I only have one image up there. If I go to it, it should be the picture of the Ohio State player that we put in there earlier. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the timeline view now, just to show you this. Okay, down here would show you who's following you. Would give your description, and this would allow people to put comments here as well. So if you want to do this for a class, you guys could create something for a project in class, and then have people write comments based on feedback for for this thing. Okay. Here are related topics, or what they perceive to be related topics. I wasn't very specific in what I created, so it kind of just threw some random things in there. Okay, so you could find relevant things as well. All right, so I'm going to go here to add event. I'm just going to add one more event and show you one more time how to do that. So let's go ahead and say senior reflection paper. That's usually at the end. And so I'm going to put that on January the 18th, which hasn't happened yet. And I'm going to put write the reflection paper. Let's go ahead and find another image. And this time, let's find one of Mary Beth Freeman. And look in images. Looks like Mary Beth has a couple different Mary Beth Freemans in the world. Here's a picture of myself and Mary Beth at the Rotary Luncheon. And so I'm going to go ahead and click this. I'm going to say copy image location. Go back over here to my URL and paste that. If I had a link, I can put it in there, or a video URL, click OK. That image will be there, and I'll hit save. Okay, and so there's the post that will pop up. You can see here's write the reflection paper of the text that we put in there. You may want more in there. And if you clicked on the actual event in the timeline, this is what would pop up. So if people wrote comments on a certain event, that can be very helpful as well if you have a project that you're doing where each event was significant and each student had to comment on a particular part of the event. So pretty neat. It really is a pretty slick little piece of software. As I look through here, I'm just trying to make sure that I got everything that you might want to see in creating this timeline. Right here, if somebody wanted to follow you, they would click this, or if you wanted to follow a hot topic, you could click that. Right here is a full screen. If I click this, this will full screen it for me. And if I hit ESC, that'll take it, or escape, that'll take it back out of full screen. Then if you have your own website or a WordPress page or something that you actually have a web presence, you can click embed, and it's going to give you a nice little embed code here that you can put that on your web page, and that will be available to everybody. You just take and copy this code right here, and you can select all the different details for that embed code, and you then have that. So, and then also you have a search. You can search your your timeline here, which is not very big, so we're not have to worry about searching that. So, okay, so that's how you create the timeline. And let me show you how you can change topic settings, and you can delete a timeline as well. Okay, and then we will be done. Okay. We go back here to my Dipity. I'm going to open up my topics. Okay, so my topics. You can see here are my 3 free timelines that I've created. Okay. Here's one I created when I was just testing this site out so I could present this information. But here's the one we just created today. Okay. This has 4 views so far, which were all me. But if I click topic settings, and I look through the topic settings, here are things I can change. Remember I told you you can change to allow people to view, contribute, or edit. Well, this is where you would do that at. Okay. And there are all my sources. And I can also delete my timeline right here. If I get up to 3 and I want to create a new one, I can delete the timeline right here in my topic settings, timeline settings information. Okay. And again, to get there, I went to My Topics and clicked on Topic Settings. And then scroll down to Delete Timeline, and that's how you go about doing that. Okay. So finally, when you're, if you're done in here, you can click Save and View Timeline. This should take us back to our timeline. And here we go. We have it. Okay. Now let's say you have a Facebook account, or you're on Twitter, or MySpace now is kind of has been upgraded and redesigned and is now really useful and a very slick product. So you could share this timeline on one of these here as well. Okay. So I think that just about wraps up the ins and outs of Dipity. You guys should at least have enough information to make you dangerous, and to get out there and to do some things on Dipity and to create something for your class or personal or whatever you want to do. So, so with all that said, please contact me if you have any questions. Thank you again for listening, and I hope you have a great day.